Okay, in this video today, we're going to be talking about coaches, the next college football coaches that are going to get fired. Here recently, Penn State fired head coach James Franklin after losing 3 games in a row. Yes, they had the one loss to Oregon, which Oregon's a great team. I'll give Penn State that. But on top of that, they lost to 2 bad teams. You lost to UCLA, who's now on a roll, and they won 2 in a row. And you lost to Northwestern, a team you are way talented, way better than, recruiting-wise, talent, coaching, you name it. You lost to freaking Northwestern. And I think that's what led to James Franklin getting fired. He's going to be fired sitting at home with $58 million. Lucky guy. Then also, Oregon State fired their coach, Trent Bray, after being 0-7. Then UAB fired their coach. So the coaching firing continues. So who's next to get fired? Now the SEC, it's obvious. This name's been named numerous amount of times. It's Billy Napier. Florida is 2-4. Billy Napier's a crappy coach. He's way over his head. He's not an offensive-minded coach. He sucks at offense. Lagway's overrated. So why is Florida still sticking with Billy Napier after losing another game? Who did they lose to? Fuck. Oh yeah, they lost to Texas A&M. They're 2-4, and I don't get why they're still sticking with Billy Napier. I figured they fired him on Monday when they lost to Texas A&M. So they're going to wait till what? When they play Georgia and fire him? Or is that what they're doing? Or wait till end of the year and they're trying to sniff bowl eligibility and they lose to Florida State and go 5-7, then fire Billy Napier? What is wrong with Florida? If James Franklin can be fired by Penn State and he's a $58 million buyout, why can't Florida fire Billy Napier? That's no excuse. Typical Florida. Scott Strickland doesn't know what he's doing. Scott Strickland is one of the reasons why Florida has been going down the toilet for about half a decade, if not almost a decade. So he's part of the reason why, Scott Strickland's part of the reason why part of Florida's failures. And there's a video on that. The 2 men that are behind Florida football's failures. If I could find that video, I'll leave it in a link in this video. So, back to coaches I think are going to get fired, is Mark Stoops at Kentucky. I think Mark Stoops is next to getting fired. Kentucky's 2-4. They're making the same decisions, grabbing some random quarterback out of the portal and expect for it to work out, and it's not. Kentucky's 2-4. Then you got Hugh Freeze at Auburn, which they should have not lost to Georgia. They were handling Georgia just fine until the refs kind of helped Georgia, allegedly, and this and that and the other. And Auburn just kind of kicked themselves in the balls and lose to Georgia. And Auburn's 3-3. I think Auburn will barely limp to a bowl game or miss out. Hugh Freeze don't know what he's doing. Jackson Arnold is not a good quarterback. He's not a good quarterback at all. So that's another coach in the SEC I think is going to get fired. The obvious 3 named was Napier, Stoops, and Hugh Freeze. Out of the Big Ten, it's obvious. It's Luke Fickell. Wisconsin's 2-4. Why are they still sticking with Luke Fickell? And they just lost to, who did they lose to? I forgot. I think Iowa. And they're 2-4. And Wisconsin's not getting to a bowl game. They still got that brutal schedule. It don't look like they're going to beat Maryland, which Maryland so far is not doing too bad. Why is Wisconsin still sticking with Luke Fickell if Penn State can fire James Franklin, pay a $57 million buyout, but Florida, Wisconsin can't? Or even Auburn? Do these programs know what they're doing? So, now let's get to the ACC. It's Bill Belichick. They're saying that, I've been hearing rumors that they're going to fire Bill Belichick, and I've been hearing reports on it. I've been seeing videos that they're going to fire Bill Belichick. So you spent $10 million for nothing on Bill Belichick? You fired Mac Brown because he's up there in age. But you hire a coach who's a year younger or a year older? Which makes no sense. North Carolina, what are you doing? I mean, yeah, you barely pay attention to the football program. I get it because you're more basketball blue blood oriented. Kind of like Duke. Kind of like Kentucky in football. They barely pay attention to their football programs. But they're heavily invested in basketball. Which, they are great in basketball. Which, now, that's great and all. But, which I do pay attention to college basketball. But, you should be doing a better job when it comes to football. So, another coach is obviously going to get fired anytime is Mike Norvell. Florida started 3-0, getting that great win over Alabama. Now they lost 3 in a row. And they lost to Pitt in overtime. What is going on in Florida State? Mike Norvell's not a good coach. And he's had, 4 losing seasons out of the last 6 years he's been there? He's only had 2 winning seasons. 10-3 and 13-1. Which, when they went 13-1, they infamously lost to Georgia, 63-3. And they've been crying about how much they hate ESPN, Kirk Herbstreit, how much he hurts their feelings, how much he bullies them, and how much he scares them, and how much they want to sue ESPN and Kirk Herbstreit and the ACC, blah, 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 blah. But I do believe he's going to get fired. It's not if, it's when he's going to get fired. Kind of the same with Billy Napier. It's not an if. It's a win when it comes to Billy Napier with Florida, unless Florida is that damn stupid, like they have been in football for the last decade, and they're like, we love Billy Napier. We trust him. He's still our guy. We're going to keep him because we're retarded. We got an IQ of 0. We wear a dunce cap on our head, and we got stupid written on our ass cheeks, so we'll just keep Billy Napier. We love him. We got faith in him. He's well-loved in Florida, which the fans don't like him. But next year, they'll probably keep him, and Florida fans will raid the internet and talk about how this is the year Billy Napier's going to get it right, and blah, 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 like they always do. They'll go on to Matt B. Great's channel, or Uncle Lou, or whatever, and go to Josh Pate to feed him the propaganda on how Florida will get it right with Billy Napier next year if they don't fire him, which Josh Pate kisses ass to Florida anyway, so what coach out of the Big 12 is going to get fired? Gee, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. I mean, Baylor's off to a nice start, So, if Baylor's off to a bad start, I could see Dave Aranda getting fired. Cincinnati's playing great football. So, for now, Scott Satterfield, his seat's kind of cooled down. Kind of with Dave Aranda. Now, with Chris Klieman at Kansas State, I say next year, he'll be on the hot seat. Because Kansas State's 3-4, they're looking like a disappointment. Now, back to the ACC. Maybe Stanford will fire their coach because Stanford don't know what they're doing as a football program. I think Bill O'Brien's the next coach to get fired. Boston College is 1-5. And Boston College is easily the worst team in the ACC. And there's a possibility that Dabo Swinney can get fired. And they're 3-3. Clemson, they're not going to the playoffs, so maybe they'll fire Dabo. Or he might go to another program and prove his point that he still got it and make Clemson look stupid. So we'll see what happens. This is my video. Like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever you want to do. Anyway, peace out, and I got a couple more videos coming.